I got a couple of questions. I remember when we started back 20 years ago, and you before me, of course. But when you started with the company, group really wasn't a big thing the way it is now. We didn't even have a small business plan.
No.
And so your focus was on recruiting. You had come from that industry. You were good at it. You carried it over onto this industry. But you have evolved with your business where not only do you have the best business builders in your organization, you have the best, some of the best group people, group instructors, trainers, vice presidents, people like myself who focused a little bit more in the small business arena. And then you evolved into the wheel of opportunity. And I know when I was in the insurance industry, one of the things we like to do when we recruited somebody is to try to find out where they had the best probability for success and to support them in that instead of trying to fit them into someplace else. You now have become one of the very best at that with your wheel of opportunity. Maybe you could talk about that a little bit.
Well, Nick, one of my hobbies is coaching football, and I've been doing it for years. And when you have a kid that shows up for practice for the first time, and he's 6 foot tall and 250 pounds, he's generally not a running back.
Right.
You got to put him in a position where he's comfortable and he knows what he's doing in that position. And looking at the long range, is that going to be the best place for him? And obviously that is, all right? And I kind of relate that, to what you're talking about with the wheel. Fortunately, we have a business model that touches 100% of the marketplace. Right. So, and everybody has different, niches in the business arena that we need to take advantage of. So I don't want to take a small business guy that really he knows the small business industry, he has contacts in the small industry, and try to convert him to a quarterback when he's really an offensive lineman in that situation. So, you're exactly right. Well, what's happened is that we can now take and look at that individual, see what their qualities are, see where their interest levels are, not change those interest levels, but transfer it into small business, into CDL, transfer it into the group arena where this is, the product fits very well. So our menu today is a lot different than it was 20 years ago when I first got started, because we didn't talk about those things. But, McDonald's menu is a little different today than it was 25 years ago too, They got the fish, chicken, salad bars and coffee and everything else today.
Right.
And so that's where we're at. And I want to put people in their comfort zone. And if they're in their comfort zone, they're going to operate and be successful at that. And doesn't mean they can't divert, but as they're building a sales force, what do we want them to do? Same thing, take their leadership and say, let's see where they fit. So we got people today making, incredible amounts of money just in the group arena, small business arena, and just marketing the service and the product. That's the one thing wonderful about our business model. You can make a full-time living just marketing the services.
Another question for you. In the industry that we're in, I like dealing with business people. I mean, we're fortunate we're in an industry where a secretary, a homemaker, a banker, a construction person, they all have the opportunity to succeed, and our profiles of success is full of those kinds of successes.
Absolutely.
Yet every single time that I'm in an event room, when I ask the question, how many of you come from those industries, a spattering of hands go up. When I ask how many of you have owned a small business in the past, always, without exception, at least half the hands, many times more, go up in that room. So anybody can make it, but we have a much higher percentage of people who are doing well in our business who come from the small business marketplace. When I even look at the people that you recruit, now of course you're traveling and you're going around the country, and maybe there's not as many secretaries traveling as there are business owners, but I see some of the people you've introduced me to recently, my background, some of your leaders, and I see that many of them come from a business background. So you talk to these business people, and you're not talking from a position of weakness. You're talking about a real opportunity. Maybe you could just share a little bit about those individuals who think they got to recruit down to people instead of up for this opportunity in the business marketplace.
Well, let's look at the legal system. It's probably one of the richest systems in the world today, and unfortunately, it's the most unaffordable, area for the small business owner and individuals in our country today. So, I do talk about recruiting up, okay, but in general, as you just mentioned, everybody's a prospect in our business because we have people that come from the printing industry, from all kinds of walks of life that now today have done extremely well.
Now, one problem that you have with that now, you used to recruit up. You've done so well, it's hard to find anybody up anymore, so you got to recruit down.
No. I'm constantly recruiting up,
okay.
And, I like the business side of it. I really do. The small business owner is usually involved in the community. they're members of the chamber, the Better Business Bureau, whatever. They're active in the community because they're people who are exposing. Hey, look, I own a restaurant. I'd like for you to come in. I want you to come in. And so they're building personal relationships and so on and so forth with community leaders, and those are great people to recruit into our business today. And then look at the small business owner. Every day he has people that come into their operation. Maybe it's a retail operation, and they're selling them, letterheads, or they're bringing in products or services, to enhance their business. Maybe tablecloths or spoons or forks or knives or whatever. They have the ability to build a relationship with those people, and as a result of it, have the opportunity to also bring those people into the business. And it's just smart business. If you could have a product today that obviously protected you, as our Legal Shield product does for the small business owner, and that small business owner pays X amount of dollars a month for it, but if he could bring a few other people into business, the bottom line is simply the fact is that product's free to him. The commission override on helping other people to expose it makes good sense. See, all we're doing, Nick, is telling people about the great mechanic down the road. If you've had a good experience with him and he's done a great job on your car, you're going to recommend him. Okay, and that's exactly what the small business owner we want them to do with our product and our service today. And with the support systems that we have, with yourself and with the entire small business arena, I mean, it's phenomenal that what you guys are doing and what continue to be done to support the small business owner. So recruiting up, I think there are people today that you got to remember now that people aren't in the same position they were a few years back. 2008 changed an awful lot of things. And that small business owner was used to making X amount of money. That car dealership that was used to selling all those cars, and that housing, that builder that was building those $1 million homes is now carrying a hammer and whatever you call it to go out and do the work on their own. So things have changed. And change sometimes is in our case we're strictly an offensive movement in the country. We haven't been affected by a lot of this. But these people have. So they're looking for new professions, they're looking for new opportunities, and we just got to be aggressive with what we do.